Hello and welcome to the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Monday, February the 2nd. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of the trading room. This is the address to get in, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. Well, let's take a look at the SPY first. A real roller coaster. This is the close yesterday, this red line. So 9:30 we opened higher, a big sell-off, then a rally, a bit of a sell-off, some consolidation, and then another bit of a sell-off, a rally, down, up, down. You get the drift. It's just all over the place. And not only that, now we're going like from positive to negative to positive to negative to positive, negative, positive. So pretty tough to find things to trade, but I certainly found one today, and let's just take a look at it. MCO. Now, MCO was sort of interesting because this is Moody's, and if you were in the trading room before the market opened, you know that I had mentioned it. And why I mentioned it is that I had seen some news on it. And basically, that the Justice Department was going to be, now I call it re-examining because I can't believe they haven't examined it already, but re-examining the role they played in the ratings of the mortgages that they were rating back in, I guess, '07, '08, '09. And excuse me, I mean, I'd read a lot about that, how they, I mean, a lot of the stuff that they were reading, we'll call it AAA. I don't know what the designation is, but first class was obviously junk, to be honest. And I don't know how they've survived since then, to be honest. I don't know why it's taken so long. We're now 2015, but anyway, the news came out that the Department of Justice was looking at them again. Now, when I saw this news, they really hadn't traded very much in the pre-market. Now, here's where the market opened, you see. So really, it was flat. And then when the market opened, it started to fall. And unfortunately, I wanted to actually short this. This looked like a great short, but my broker didn't have shorts available for me. But so I said, okay, well, let's watch this stock because, eventually these things will bounce. So here's my signal right there. These are fairly wide candles. I mean, the top here is what, 86.89. The bottom is 86.16. So, talking about 50 cents. Now we're getting a little tighter. The bottom here is 85.82 and 86.16. So we're getting a little bit tighter. And we put in these two candles here, and it looked like there's a bottom, 85.54 on that one and 85.54 on that one. So actually, it's probably 85.50 on that one. I wonder if I can see, excuse me, the low would be, yeah, 85.50. So that was the low, and then 4 cents above it. And then a slightly now more narrow, more narrow candle. So that to me was the clue that we're finally starting to maybe get some stability in the stock, and maybe it would have bounce potential. And so I took the trade right here at 86.16 as it broke through over the whole number. A little bit late. I think some people were actually in a little bit underneath the whole number, but I prefer to wait for it to break the whole number. And I took the trade actually right here. You see how it broke and then it came back down and then broke up again. And so I took the trade right here because I was worried. I have to admit, it was I mean, a lot of the bounce plays are the reversals that I like to do. I mean, this was very negative news. And excuse me, you just never know how, well, here's how the market reacted. But would this be just a brief pullback or pull up and then the continuation? So I was a little bit reluctant even to get in here, but eventually I took the trade right there. Again at 86.16. I exited, excuse me, half of it at 86.49. Again, very conservatively. 1 second, please. Okay, so I took half out at 86.49, so not much on the first half, but I was bound and determined to let the second half run, and boy, did it ever. He got up to all the way up to 80, 88.97, and I eventually actually got up to here, 80, 89.27. Was actually hoping maybe I'd get a $3 on this back end, but I ended up selling here at 88.86 from my half. So half it from 88.16 up to 88.86. So what's that? $2.70. So that was a great, great trade, and really, um, all because I just read the news in the pre-market. A lot of times, I mean, I don't necessarily read any news at all, but this caught my eye, and mainly because it wasn't doing anything. I thought that's kind of strange. It was doing really nothing. And so I had put this on a small chart. Somebody said to me, "What scanner did you use in Trade Ideas?" Well, to be honest with you, it was not a scanner from Trade Ideas. It was just the fact that I read the news and decided to put uh, MCO Moody's as one of my little thumbnail charts that I wanted to watch. And the minute I saw all this, I thought, okay, now eventually it came into this particular window and down the most in dollars. So I would have been alerted to it right there also, but initially it was just because of the news. So that was a great trade, and I'm certainly going to watch this again tomorrow because it still has we're still down $3, but we'll see if, this news gets shucked off, kind of, oh yeah, right, we talked about this back in '08 and no big deal came of it. So we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. The next one was ANF, Abercrombie and Fitch. And this came from my bouncers. Let me just bring the bouncers in here. And I missed this one. This you can see this is actually where I received actually a bounce alert for MCO. So even if I hadn't have seen this in the pre-market, I would have been alerted to it on the bounce. These were a bunch of ones that all worked, and so when it came to Abercrombie and Finch, and I missed all these, but I when it came to Abercrombie and Fitch, I got a bit of a cold here, so kind of struggling through it. ANF came at 2404, and I ended up taking the trade at 2434. Right now, why is this? Hmm, I must have done this on another time frame. So just one second. All right, sorry about that. All right, so I actually took the trade right here on this candle, the 2439, as it came up and then it came back down and then it started back up again. So I took the trade here and actually it immediately popped up to 2457, and I missed that spike. I'm sure I would have sold half of it anyway, and unfortunately the next candle drove me out of it, and I took a loss on it, 2434 from 20, and then it turned right around again. So this was very disappointing that this candle happened right there, this little action here, because had this not happened, I certainly would have made probably stayed into it at least up until this area here. But them's the breaks, I have to obey my stop, and when that happened, you never know. I mean, it could have just continued down like sort of an action like this. So you just have to obey your stops and things like that. UIS was the next trade, and UIS again came from my bounces. And this didn't work that well. The alert came in at 2163, and so it came in right in this level here, 2160. Well, right here at 2163. I watch it come down. It kind of chugged around this area, and I when I saw this little pullback and then it looked like it was starting up again, I said, okay, I'll take it at 2158 and I'll put a stop right here. I mean at 2153, so like a nickel stop. So I figured my very low risk trade, if I get stopped out immediately, so what? And but it just zoomed up immediately, and so I got out half at 2176 from 2158. And then as it started coming down, I took the rest out at 2163, and it's just kind of you know uh, gyrated between this channel, the upper 2176 and 2150 or 2163 since then. So not a fantastic trade, but still something that was very quick, and certainly do it again. And the last one worked out very nicely, and yeah, it's still going actually, but I am out of the trade. And this came, I wonder if it's still here. Yes, my strong stock window, and LPI is still on it. And again, these are stocks that are above the open and the close and above yesterday's high, and some other filters are in place. So I saw this stock right around here, watch it come up and break down through the whole number. And then when it broke up back up through 11, I decided to take the trade. Took trade at 11:02, took out half at 11:22, and the other half as it came back down at 11:43. And I see it's still moving up. SN was the other one. Is SN on that list? SN's not on that list, but SN was sort of the other one that I was toying with, doing the same sort of thing, and it would have worked not too badly either at taking it over the whole number and writing it up to 12.50, about 50 cents. So that is it. Again, let me see what the SPY is doing right now. It's difficult. I mean, you'd like to see I mean, this is a great trend, no question about it. But then as it starts to come down, you start to think, okay, now are we going to, lose a lot again? Are we going to go back and test the lows? So it is difficult. It plays with your emotions for sure. But let's see if we can close above 200 today. Still have but a little over an hour left in the market. So, but that's it. But definitely the MCO trade was a great trade, and I would have had several alerts even within trade ideas to tell me. But certainly the news caught my interest, and then just put it on a thumbnail and started watching it immediately. So that's why you should come into the trading room in the pre-market because we definitely try to identify stocks that are going to be of interest for the day. So that's it for today. Let me just bring up the cover page, and again, here's how to get into the room, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. Hope to see you in the trading room tomorrow.